So, packaging materials safety or the safety issues in food packaging material. So, we know there is the safety issues associated with the packaging material also, because some company when they are producing the products, food products or any other products, but here we will discuss basically on food products, they procure packaging material from other companies. So in order to ensure that the packaging material does not contain any kind of hazards like physical, chemical, biological or any other allergens, there are some steps to be followed. So, a broad range of substrates comprise the list of approved food contact packaging materials. So, already there are some list which are already approved. We are having that is direct or indirect packaging materials. So you know that there are some packaging material which comes direct contact with the food and some comes indirect contact with the food, and all those packaging materials are already having some approved list. And if you say the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, consider controls and regulates direct contact packaging materials in the same manner as food ingredients. FDA says what? That you have to control the packaging materials as the manner you control the food materials, assuming that the packaging substrates and all contacting substrates can and may be consumed along with the food. It means that you have to assume, the food producer has to assume that the packaging material will also going to be consumed by the customers. And manufacturers of packaging raw materials and finished converted packages alike are expected to understand, apply and validate their processes for consistency, quality, safety and adherence to required methods and protocols. So they have to validate all their procedures and safety, quality, consistency, all these things related to packaging materials. Then contact material regulations is also there. Then what are the general risks? As with every substance and material connected with the processing and packaging of edible and all the other metal, but here in edible we are thinking packaging and related materials are no safer than their components and environments. We cannot say that the packaging material are safe because so many environmental contaminations or some other ingredients may come, and understanding and proper application of HACCP and related safety control processes represent the correspondence a cornerstone of GMP. So HACCP systems and all other control measures are required, and these control measures are part of the GMP regulations which is controlled by US FDA. Okay. And what are the biological risks? Although packaging materials are not typically connected with pathogenic outbreaks, there are no evidence of outbreaks of any relations with biological contaminants. Okay, but still that they are strongly advised to be vigilant and proactive about it. Implement and maintain a biological program which fingerprints and baselines your operation, including ambient facility like air flow and the facility where packaging or components are residing, outside air and soil quality can contaminate by becoming from neighboring facilities, farms, etc. Contact surfaces, not just the production equipment, but the floors, walls, and ceilings are areas including air house and storage, all these surroundings may cause the contaminations, biological contaminations. So you need to be proactive on your systems. Okay, so you have to implement and maintain a biological program which fingerprints and baselines your operation, including air handling, that is HVAC, hatchback systems, heat, heating, ventilations, and air controls. Okay, then water, sewer, and compressed gases, including air productions, equipment, and adjunct processes, raw materials, native materials with special focus on recycle, regrind, rework, and bulk storage facilities. Then packaging of the packaging means the whatever the packaging material is coming in the packaging material, that packaging material should also be in control state. Okay, in biological risks, what are those? That then implement and maintain a biological program which fingerprints and baselines your operation, including pre and post processing sampling. You have to take the sample of that packaging material before and after the process. General personal health and sanitation practice is also required, like swab analysis test, especially high risk. Okay, then you have to base your program on the assumption that consumers will ingest your packaging. See, you have to assume. Assume means what? Sometimes what happens, the childrens, they don't know exactly what to eat and what not to eat. Sometimes they engulf the packaging material also. So you have to assume that customers will consumes that packaging material, and based upon that you have to make a baseline of procedures so that your packaging materials are ensured properly, are sampled, tested, to be assured, all those things. And other personal hygiene activities should be in proper, like testing of the personal hand swabs, all these things. Then when the results return, you will have a comprehensive microbiological baseline to use a reference going forward, factored by regulatory guidelines and established norms. So whenever you get the results from the laboratory, notified or certified accredited laboratory, what happens, you will develop a systems to what level, what extent you are going to implement that control measures. Okay, then risk of reusable support packaging. All the packaging materials are not typically connected with pathogenic outbreaks or biological contamination. Reuse or improper handling and storage of packaging can and does promote contaminations. It is having some chances of contaminations, although we don't have any kind of outbreaks. Reusable pellets, wooden or plastics act as hosts for physical, chemical, and biological contaminations. These items may leave your plant uncontaminated, but do they return in the same conditions? Who knows what contaminants, trace elements, and otherwise resides on those items? We don't know exactly which trace elements is present, which metal oxidants, which metal toxic chemicals is present in that packaging material. So you have to be proactive to ensure these substances are not contaminating your food products. Then reusable cartons, gallots, toads, and zippers may harbor pathogens and other contaminants also, because these reusable plastics, dairy crates may harbor salmonella and other pathogens. Okay, because this salmonella is a great pathogenic microorganisms which can cause outbreaks. And reusable corrugated cases, totes, and gallots are also be taken into considerations. Risk of wooden support packaging material, because wooden support packaging material have the chances of great absorbent, because wooden absorbents are having more chance of what observant, they have more absorbent capacity, hence if moisture is observed there, then microbial growth can also be happened. And once returned, that contaminations is now in your facility. So whenever that packaging, wooden packaging material has came to your company or your area, control area, then the chance is there that they will cause contaminations. Then the effectiveness of sanitations or cleaning processes or for reusable packaging and accessories must be validated by analysis. Whatever the cleaning processes of that packaging materials you are using, that should be validated by certain literatures or by analysis within the lab. Then reuse of packaging creates risk and requires special handling techniques and analysis to avoid being a source of inbound contamination. What are the best practices to handle with reusable support packaging safety? See, protect yourself against unknown contaminations like sequester reusable packaging, assess and document the risk, customize handling and sanitation procedures for each reusable items. High risk such as dairy, meat plants, hygienic facility needs to take extra precautions in handling this reusable supports packaging safety. Reusable supports, you have to take extra care. Then perform periodic routine macrobiological testings to validate programs. Porous and intricate reuse packaging and peripherals are high risk and may not fully sanitize due to porosity design and geometry. See, these packaging materials, support packaging materials are having what, they are porous in nature, so you cannot be confirmed that your packaging materials are fully free with any kind of contamination. So you have to develop certain precautions to not have that, and you have to take validations of that process. Okay, then controlling biological risk. So how you will control biological risks like pest and other substances, like you have to understand it and challenge the provider for explanations. Choose qualified and certified providers. You should have approved suppliers list, and those who are branded, that supplier should be in your supplier list. Then fully understand where and how microbial and pathogenic contaminations can occur. Implement practical preventive measures. What are the practical preventive measures are there that you have to implement? Then monitor all areas and processes within your facility for microbiological contaminations. You have to uh, do some monitoring processes so that you can establish control measures. And at last you have to give training, because training is a valuable tool against risky practices. Develop and executed best practice and risk control employing training. Then what are chemical hazards? Chemical risk and can occur from multiple sources: defective or mislabeled incoming substrate, allergen contact, misuse of proper ingredient or processing aids, contact with sanitizers, cleaners, solvents, lubricants. All these are chemical hazards. There are so many changes because so many handlings are going on, so many people are transporting all those materials. So there are some chances that they will be having some allergens, some sanitizers, some cleaners, solvents, so many things. Uncured process chemicals like inks, coating, adhesives, etc. Unexpected adulterated uh, unexpected adulterations or use of non-food approved components in raw materials. It is also important thing. Non-food approved components in raw material may be there. Then suppliers rarely perform surface chemistry or composition tests. Quality and compliance are controlled by quality programs, GMP. So suppliers are not much concerned about all these programs like GMP, prerequisites, CCPs. So you have to take care of all those things. Then verify quality of incoming chemicals and polymeric materials through visual, sensory, and analytical testing. Reduce the reliance on. So these are some administrative authority. You can't reliance completely to the administrative authorities. Then consider a random audit program for direct contact materials, especially those sourced from increased risk supply chains. Then implement and validate an effective plan based on internal and external risk analysis. Then perform frequent internal audit. Internal audit is required to find out the different gaps present within your systems to comply with control measures to control chemical hazards. So perform internal audit, frequent internal audits of the plant and processes. Perform mock incidents to evaluate responses and corrective actions. What mock incidents should be performed? If suppose you have to think that there is some contaminations happened, some emergency happened, and in that situations what is the response team, emergency response, how is your emergency response, that should be performed. Mock incident should be there. Then physical hazards. Physical material can inadvertently enter the production process. They like metals, wood, paper, polymers, rigids. All these are glass, dust, or shards. So how you can control? By using corrective actions like risk awareness, preventive maintenance, like quality control, sanitations, and housekeeping inspections, by some visual x-ray metal detections, by using some non-destructive techniques. Also you can identify which material is having what kind of contaminants by inspections. Then audits, finally the audit is required. Controlling hazards of what? Paper packaging by different techniques like sampling of the paper packagings, and by some cleanness of the equipments. Then you can control microbiological hazards. You have to develop a practical, reliable facility specific internal micro sampling plan you have to develop. Then chemical, how you can do careful control of additives. Then physical metal detections, all these things are there. Then controlling of hazards of rigid containers, same microbiological, chemical, and physicals. You can develop some techniques based upon the sampling plans, because these rigid containers can have resins, coils, perfumes, and body stocks. So do not assume that conversion and absolute kill steps, because whenever you are bringing the rigid container, you are making some changes within that rigid containers, but you should not assume that after conversions all the macrobiological agents will be killed. Okay. Then flexible films maintain a practical risk based macro evaluations program for facility process and material. In this we have understood many points related to packaging material safety. Thank you a lot.